Rice is a staple in any household, but it's usually just a boring side dish. With over dozens of varieties to choose from, basmati, short grain, long grain, rice can actually be the star of a meal. We're making hearty rice-stuffed Cornish game hens roasted on a bed of rice. Then for dessert, we're making my take on rice pudding. First, we need to prep the ingredients for stuffing the Cornish game hens. So I've got half an onion here. Throw these guys in the pan. And we want to get this to a point where the onions are nice and brown. All right, we'll let those settle in, and now let's get started on our garlic. All right, we're also gonna add some carrots. Our onions are brown, so we'll throw in our carrots and garlic. And at this point, we wanna add our spices so that they can bloom a little bit in the pan before the rice goes in. So we'll add cumin, cinnamon, little red pepper flakes. And as soon as they hit the pan, you can smell all those exotic spices. And now we'll throw in our dried fruits, and here you can get creative. I'm using dried cranberries and golden raisins, but even dried apricots would be good here. Raisins, regular raisins would be good too. I'm also throwing in pistachios, another place you can get creative. So sliced almonds are good, walnuts would also be great. Whatever you have in the pantry will probably work here. That's why I love this dish. Now that all of these ingredients have mingled, we can throw in our brown rice. So I've already cooked 1 cup of brown rice in chicken stock. So since it's cooked with chicken stock, it's actually got a nice color too. But it's also going to pick up all of those spices and flavors from these ingredients. The difference between short grain and long grain is that short grain has a lot more starch. So it tends to be creamier and it tends to stick together, whereas long grain is a little fluffier. So our stuffing is actually all set, and we can get ready to stuff our Cornish hens. All right, so I've brought these Cornish game hens to room temperature, and now it's time to stuff them. So our rice stuffing has cooled. We'll go ahead and start piling it in. We'll hit them with a little salt, pepper, a little bit of paprika too. Hit them with a little olive oil, and then a little massage before they go into the oven. All right, so we'll fill in all of these gaps with our rice. On top go our hens, right on top of these onions. The idea is that they're not sitting in the chicken stock, which we are adding to the rice so that it doesn't dry out. So now we'll put this in the oven at 400 degrees until these juices run clear, about 40-45 minutes. So while our Cornish game hens are roasting, it's time to make our rice pudding. And I promised it would be my take on rice pudding, and you'll see why in just a moment. But first, we need to continue cooking this arborio rice. I already prepared about 1.5 cups of rice here, and now I'm going to add milk. I'm using 2% milk, but you can use whole milk or even skim milk if you want to. And to that, because it's rice pudding after all, we'll add a little bit of sugar. Okay, so that'll come to a simmer. It'll simmer for about 20 minutes until the rice has soaked up all of the milk. Meanwhile, we'll work on the topping. So what we're making are caramelized peaches. Quarter our peaches, and now we'll coat them with a little butter. That will add sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla. That's mixed, so now we'll put it into this little cast iron dish. And while our rice continues to cook, we'll throw these peaches in the oven, 400 degrees, until it's nice caramelized and brown. All right, so the arborio rice did its job and all of that sugar and milk is absorbed. Now we need to add 2 more ingredients. We're going to add 1 egg, To that, we'll add half a cup of milk, and it'll go straight into the rice pudding. So the milk and the eggs are all absorbed, which means our rice pudding is ready. So we've made our rice pudding using arborio rice for its starchiness and creaminess, topped it with a delicious roasted peach. And of course, we've got our Cornish game hens stuffed with rice, roasted on a bed of rice, and I have to tell you, it looks and smells amazing. And I think we can agree, we've proven that rice can be the star of any meal. So let's dig in. Dessert first.